follow me if you want to where I'm headed. Ain't no need to look back, dwell on that or forget it. Take it one step forward, then 2 steps back. I ain't into all that, I ain't into that. I'm back like chiropract, pyromaniac, fire all on the track. Heads up to the DJ, melt records into candle wax. That random act requires hands to remain up like that. Flat line the beat with every line flat. Fact, no fiction, realize it's realism. Feel this, y'all. Statistic list those who listen and get a glimpse of thoughts sprinting laps around them dudes getting pissed off. Stay ahead in the lane they not accustomed to. Bum rushing through, no room left to get adjusted to. Uncomfortable, the feeling of the building ceiling crushing every living being to dust. So wrong. Trust man, the game in a dustpan. They Mac is a dame on a nutsack, like a lunch snack. Dunce cap on a bunch of you doofuses.
Yeah. Production on this album is pretty sick, man. You got some sick beats on here, man.
Yeah, I reached out to a lot of different producers in the city.
Yeah? It's dope, man.
Try to keep a variety, you know, for sure.
724, you are listening to the Music Box on Vocalo 89.5 FM. The song you just heard there, Essential, off of the album of the same name, Essential, by Chicago MC Esohel. Chicago MC Esohel has been making a name for himself in Chicago's underground hip-hop scene through his hard-hitting mixtapes. All of that hard work has led up to this point, the release of his debut LP, Essential. Join me now in studio, Esohel.
What's good, man?
Happy to have you, man.
Thank you for having me, man.
I understand it was a little difficult finding the place, man. It's
yeah,
like a maze here.
Yeah. You know, Navy Pier is a beautiful place, and it's a lot of distractions. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm going, and then I'm also checking out the spot. You know,
You're being nice, man. Navy Pier is a mall on the lake, man.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Yeah,
man.
I wanted to hop on the Odyssey real quick. You know? Be like, I'll be back.
Some rides before you come up for the interview.
Yeah.
You should have done that, man. You should have done that. Before we get into Essential, let's take people back a little bit, give some people some background on you and how you started. Of all the things that got you into hip-hop, you got into hip-hop because of the box. The box.
Yeah, Channel 13, I think it switched a couple channels throughout his lifetime. The box was like today's BT, TRL, whatever it may be, you call in. But you actually had to pay for the video
but
that you wanted to request over the phone. And I know most of the people that I've talked to across, my career, they say the video they remember the most was Bone Thugs, what was it, Crossroads. That played like 30 times back to back to back. But
you know what, man? Parents hated the box because they had the number to call, and you would call and you'd get charged on your phone bill.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, kids were probably home alone watching it all day. Their parents at work and, taking advantage of that. But
so you're watching the box. What was it that you were watching? What videos were you listening to that caught your ear?
I remember the first video that when we even figured out what channel it was, we heard MC Hammer, Hammer Time, coming in through the snow on the TV, and we're like, what is that? What is this? We got the antenna fixed, and bam, the box. We heard, we heard the choir singing, oh, like, oh, okay, cool. So, but what got me into it technically was just something that hit close to home was Crucial Conflict at the time. I was a big fan of Bone Thugs, but when I saw Crucial Conflict on there and I found out they were a local group, I'm like, man, this is dope. This is really cool. Like, to know that somebody local is on the TV. I want to be that one day.
I want to take you back to the Industry Series Volume 1 and the track called Welcome, Exhibit S. The intro to it, I think, speaks to the kind of artist that you are. You say, there's no dotted line for the unsigned, just strictly rhymes and the grind. Tell me what that means to you.
There's no dotted line for the unsigned. Pretty much, like, regardless of a contract or whatever, I'm going to keep doing what I do. I love putting out the music for the fans to hear. I love the feedback. To me, it ain't even driving force. It's nothing to do with money, But I mean, if that's what comes for it, hey, I'm all embracing it.
You see that? He's not opposed to it.
At the end of the day, like, that's not what drives me. You feel me? So that's what that quote means.
I forgot the line already. It's almost like what people call the Drake setup, but you do it differently. Like, take a toke, don't smoke, or something like that.
Oh, on that track, yeah, I did. It was the first time I kind of started doing it on that track, but yeah.
You kind of made that your own, man.
Yeah,
it's your own thing.
I find myself using it more often lately, too.
It's dope, man. We have an emphasis on local music because we're trying to support it more. But no, I mean, we have national artists. Like, I've had, like, Lupe on.
Got different endeavors, so he's like, whatever.
Cool
He
kids.
goes on a
One day I have
different
Astro
plane,
off.
and there's a scholarship with his
The
name.
roots are coming through.
I live, they can walk, take a stroll.
Alright, what's your name?
They don't normally grow through.
Hey, I'm Ryan, I'm gonna bring you on. You'll be able to ask me a question, right?
Usually show you.
Alright, well, this is
Take a
cool.
walk, take a stroll. Let me show you.
7:35. You are listening to the Music Box on Vocalo 89.5 FM. I'm your host Jesse Menendez. The song you just heard, "Let Me Show You," from Chicago MC Esohel. Esohel, my in-studio guest.
Yeah, man.
Before we get into some more conversation and some more questions, we have a caller, man. AM wants to ask you a question. AM, you are on the line.
What up? That's what's up, man. Appreciate you calling and let me know that, man. You already know. AM too, you spit that real too, so I mean, you know, we gonna do what we do, bro.
AM, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate the call, man.
Yeah.
How's that make you feel, man?
Man, yo.
Somebody appreciates your music and also says that you're doing the culture justice.
I you know, loss of words. You know, it's always great to hear that. It's always inspiring. It keeps me going. It gives me a reason to keep doing this. You know, rappers always had that, you know, you get those highs from, you know, people in your ear, but when you hear something genuine like that, you know, that solidifies and lets you know that what you're doing is, you know, saying the right thing. So
Earlier we were talking about your style and how it's aggressive. You chalked it up to the Napoleon complex. Essential, this new album of yours also features not just those aggressive bars and metaphors, but this album, like we just heard, has you storytelling.
yeah.
Was that the mode of writing you were in for this album?
I get in different modes depending on you know, how I'm feeling, obviously, or the production that I'm dwelling upon, messing with at the moment. If it calls out my name, like this needs something to be told, then I steer in that direction. But a lot of the times, most of the lyrics I'm writing at work, no beat. The best lyrics that I feel that I've done are done without no production to it. I end up applying it towards once I come across that beat that fits that story, that mood that I have, you know, wrote. Other than that, yeah, I like putting myself in different situations, or just imagining a different situation and putting it in words for somebody to hear.
I'm telling you, man, these people are not going to let me finish this interview. Caller, you're on the line. What is your question for SOL? Appreciate the call, man.
Yeah, glad to be part of that, you know.
People from Northwest Indiana digging what you're doing, man.
Dope. Appreciate the call, man. You know,
Crazy.
keep doing what you're doing. I hopefully, you know what I'm saying, you start hearing more people from your neck of the woods spitting some real.
Mixtapes, collaborations. Now we have a full length.
Yeah.
What's the strategy behind how you went about releasing projects?
I mean, it's really the collection of music that I'm compiling at the moment and what the vibe is. At the time when I was dropping a lot of the mixtapes, I was kind of everywhere with the styles and the feelings, and I wanted to, you know what I'm saying, I wanted just to feed the public. So I usually like, you know what I'm saying, getting the stuff together, seeing what fits, what project I'm currently working on, because I like to have a lot of stuff on my plate as well. A lot of like I have right now, I'm currently working on a project with Ricky Does, which is my live show DJ, and his man DJ Sen, which is, shout out to Scheme, his DJ. They go as the production duo Altered Ethics. So they actually produced the first track, Essential. You know, I'm working on that, and I got a few more producers. I like to reach out to the local producers and, you know what I'm saying, out of state producers as well. And depending on what the sounds and the stuff that I'm compiling at the time, I'll figure out what direction I want to take the project. And everything that I had off of Essential just was top notch in my opinion, as far as the sounds and the quality of lyrics that I wanted to present the project to be. It had to be, you know, it had to be the album.
741, you're listening to the Music Box on 89.5 FM. I'm your host, Jesse Menendez. My in-studio guest is Chicago MC SOL. The new album is called Essential. I wanted to save this track for last because it's a great story you tell. I think it's important because it raises awareness. And it definitely showcases your ability as a songwriter. Of course, I'm talking about your song In the Rain.
Okay.
It's a heavy song, man.
Thanks, bro.
I'm going to play it in a second, but I want you to tell the listeners what made you write that song, what the song is about,
Okay.
and what the reaction has been. Because as I mentioned, it's heavy, man.
Yeah, I've had a large response to this song. It's In the Rain, produced by J Rel. a Big Tune Beat Battle winner, Red Bull. Got Sense Hernandez that produced the video, which allowed me to bring a visual key to so the public could see what I was saying in the lyrics. The story's about domestic abuse, and what inspired it was, tell you the truth, was the beat. The beat, it had, you know, a female sample. It just yearned. It felt like it was pain involved in it, and I just told a story of a relationship that's gone south, pretty much, that a lot of females and men too could relate to as far as relationships going south. But this situation was a female who's stuck in a relationship, guy's cheating, she finds out she's pregnant. What does she do? Does she stick around with the abuse, which is attempted in the lyrics, but at the end of the day it's a cycle, and she decides that she's better off getting motivation, finding the motivation through her child, which deserves that, and moving forward and making something positive out of it. I didn't want to leave on a negative note the way the song started, so I take you on a journey through that struggle and pain, and towards the end there's some light. After the rain there's always sunshine.
And the video, like you said, it presents a visual to what you're saying in the song. The video, man, powerful as well. You have a video now that shows the images that you've already painted with the words. What have people told you after hearing this?
I've heard a lot of stories that I've actually recently heard that it inspired somebody to leave a relationship. After watching it, it lurked in the back of their mind that they can't stick with it. It made an impact in their life so much that it inspired them to leave the situation and to better themselves, and to see that there's a bright light at the end of the tunnel, to just, you know, keep pushing regardless of how crappy things might be today. It's in you. It's in you to push forward and to make better of the situation.
For you, why did that topic come to mind? I know you mentioned the track yearned and it sounded like it had pain in it.
Yeah.
It could have easily been about a breakup. It could have been about losing a friend. This is a very specific subject.
Yeah. The second verse that I have on there starts off, "Bottom Liz is with a salty tear sit. She hears it, her ears spit. Girl, where did all the years split?" That's the only line that I had. And when I was hearing the beat, I had wrote that prior to even getting the beat. I would say half a year before I even got the beat. But when I heard it, it just matched so perfectly with the crying, with the sample. I just took them few lines, which doesn't specify what, and just built, and then just let the words carry themselves. Sometimes just, I don't know how to describe it. You're just in the zone, and these words come to you. It just feeds into your brain, and you just start writing it. So once it went to a certain direction where it led into the girl's crying because she's been through a rough patch in her life and she's contemplating what to do. From there, all right, cool, this is the story, and I went back to the first verse, kind of made something to lead up to that situation, and then found out a way to end it. And pretty much that's how it went down.
7:45, you're listening to the Music Box on 89.5 FM. I'm your host, Jesse Menendez, my in-studio guest, MC Esohel. The new album is Essential. We've been talking about the track In the Rain. I think a track like this, especially after hearing you say that someone said that it led them to leave a bad relationship, has to, in some way, prove to you that there's power in words.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, I mean, I don't know if this is true or not, but it's gotta... Anyway, for me, it would make me rethink some of the things I'm about to say on these tracks, or what I am going to be able to do on these tracks because of how it does affect people.
Yeah,
Has
definitely.
that resonated with you?
Definitely. It puts you in a situation where you have, it's that time to do a party track, and you're like, well, what am I going to get out of this, specifically? You want to feed that certain genre or that certain crowd that wants certain music, but then there's nothing that could top that last quote, that being told that you've changed their life with a song. So it puts things in perspective, and it makes you want to keep doing that, but at the same time you got to just keep doing what you do. Also, I just had a new born. My daughter was just born, my second daughter. So
congratulations,
yeah,
man.
You start thank you.
Congratulations, man. That's beautiful.
So I've been busy with that, but then you start, I have daughters at home. It definitely, I always watch what I try to say, So I always try to keep things in a positive light. And if not, if I'm being aggressive, boastful, you know what I'm saying, I'm just rapping. I'm a rapper.
Don't take it personal, man.
Don't take it personal.
Don't hold him to it. Once again, the new album is Essential by Chicago MC Esohel. You can find it on his Bandcamp page. To keep up with Esohel, check him up on Twitter, Facebook, u.fam.com, MySpace, and once again, as I just mentioned, the album is available. And this boggles my mind. It's available as a free download.
Yeah.
I don't get that, man.
Man, you know, I'm just trying to reach the masses, you know. My goal is, you know what I'm saying, I'm you know, if you want to buy the album, you could do that. You could get a hard copy shipped to you, but you know, I just want to feed the public, man. The next project, maybe I might get that money out your pocket. I think it's long overdue.
Right, absolutely, man. This is In the Rain off Essential. Crazy.
It was a rap.
Pretty much that dude said that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. The other guy I know, but yeah.
We hit up Chicago and then Northwest Indiana as well. Okay. So they were hearing from out there.